After our short rest, I want to sneak out the way we came in and see if it's clear for us to get going.
All right, give me a perception check. Right now it is in the middle of the night, so it's going to be difficult to see. So go ahead and roll with disadvantage.
But I should have dark vision? I should roll normally?
I don't think Cane Coos have dark vision.
What do you mean they don't have dark vision? I'm a sneaky, squawky bird boy.
I just looked it up on D&D Beyond. Yeah, man, you don't have dark vision. I agree, it's kind of dumb.
Whatever. All right, I rolled a 7 on my perception check.
You don't see much. You smell crisp night air. There's an overcast overhead, so it's hard to see in the pitch black. You smell a hint of something burning in the distance, but nothing is within line of sight.
We should get moving sooner rather than later. I don't know if King Grawl was lying about that warband, but I'd rather us get out of here instead of finding out on our own.
Agreed. I know we're all tired and would like a long rest, especially Gundren, I'm sure, but we can find respite in Phandalin.
Well, I got dark vision since I'm the closest thing to a god in this party. I'll lead us out with my all-seeing Aasimar eyes. Everyone get behind the leader.
O's brothers.
You all make your way out into the Neverwinter Wood and start to navigate through the pitch black. Don, since you so graciously decided to be the pathfinder for the group, go ahead and roll me a survival check to see if you can find your way back towards Phandalin in the middle of the night.
I was going to argue for a perception check, but they're both a +1. God damn it, I rolled a 7.
Wow, way to go, Don. You're so much better at this than me. I'm so glad you're leading us back home.
You all travel for about an hour through the thick woods with Gundren and are hopelessly and completely lost. Gundren says, "Hey lad, do you know what you're doing? I get the feeling we're just going in circles at this point."
Yeah, I know where we're going, man. I totally have this under control. It's this way, I'm sure of it.
You all travel for a few more hours when the sun starts to rise as morning comes. You are all exhausted from trekking through the woods and the fights you have had. Since we got lost in the woods, everyone please take a point of exhaustion. Now that the sun is out, you all can discern which way is south to get back to Phandalin as you continue your trek.
Gee, thanks, Don.
By late morning, you all arrive at Phandalin. It seems that whatever warband that King Grawl was speaking of was either a farce or you had evaded them. The quiet village of Phandalin is just as you left it, minus the traveling magic item salesman. A small overcast has started to roll into the area, and thunder can be heard in the distance. You all make your way to the center of town, just right outside of the Stonehill Inn. A sight for sore eyes, to be sure, as you all are feeling exhausted after being up all night storming Cragmaw Castle and getting lost in the woods on the way back to Phandalin. Gundren hobbles up the steps of the Stonehill Inn and says, "Lads, I thank you all for your help. I'm going to get a room and rest. Might try to go find me brother, Nundro, and let him know the bad news about Tharden. Those bleeding goblins have what's coming to them." Gundren looks down at you, Droop, and says, "Present company excluded, of course. I am grateful to you, Droop."
Of course, I am happy to help Gundren. Uses a nice dwarfs and good friends.
Yeah, go ahead and get some sleep, man. I think we're all going to be turning in soon as well. Hey, Ben, I want to take this owlbear cloak and have it tanned, touched up, and ready for me. Where can I go?
Sure, the best place in town that you know of would be at Barthen's Provisions. Making a quick stop there in town, Barthen would tell you it would cost you 2 gold, and it would take 5 days to tan the hide.
Anyway, to make that go faster, I want my drip when we raid Wave Echo Cave.
Barthen would tell you it's a process, and if you want it done correctly, it's best to take it slow. He comments saying that the hide is in good condition and should make a fine cloak for you.
Fine, if it's going to get done, I want it done right. I fork over the 2 gold and say I'll be back to pick it up in 5 days, hopefully a lot richer after we raid Wave Echo Cave. So I'm totally heading back to the tavern and going to get a bed right now. I'm exhausted after all of this bullshit and need my beauty sleep.
I think we're all in the same boat there, Don.
I kick down the door to the tavern, walk in like a cowboy and squawk, "I demand a bucket of corn and a bed," and wobble up to the counter. Squaw!
You all settle into the Stonehill Inn for the afternoon. Joe, you easily get your bucket of corn and you all get rooms for the evening. 2 gold pieces each, and you all can be fed and have a room for the evening. While you all are exhausted, you still have an afternoon and evening of things you can possibly do before it's time for bed. Does anyone want to do anything in particular during this time?
I'm fucking beat. I'm just going to be resting for the day after I eat. I might drink socially for a while, but that's about it.
I would spend time with Gundren and make sure his wounds are taken care of if he would allow me to.
Sure, go ahead and give me a medicine check, George.
I rolled a dirty 20. How well do I treat him?
While he wasn't in a critical state, you are able to use some spare cloth to bandage up and disinfect his wounds. While he would have healed up given time without treatment, you definitely helped him along the way of recovery, making him more comfortable. He thanks you for your aid and goes to his room to get some much-needed rest.
I'm just going to read in my room for the afternoon until it's time to go to bed in the evening.
I'm going to drink, eat corn, and squawk at people until I get tired and go to bed.
I want to go into my room and check on my baby. How is Daddy's little monster doing?
You get back to your room, Droop, and bring out the magical container holding your egg. The container is chilled to the touch. You open up the lid and see the white egg nestled neatly inside of the container. With careful examination, you see the top of the egg is cracked slightly. Go ahead and give me a nature check to get some more information.
I'm going to do that check with advantage since dragons are my favorite enemy from my ranger feature. I rolled an 18 on that check.
With your knowledge of dragons, you realize that the egg is at the starting stages of hatching. Towards the end of its incubation period, the hatchling will begin to break out of its shell slowly. You know that it's best to keep it in a cold environment while it does this, as a white dragon thrives in the cold, though it won't be much longer before the egg hatches fully into a small pseudo-dragon. Since this egg is not one of a pseudo-dragon, over the next few weeks, the hatchling will begin to grow tremendously until it reaches a medium size and slowly grow over time after that.
Excitedly but carefully, I give the egg a quick kiss before closing the hatch of the case and putting it on my nightstand. I lay on the bed and kick my feet, waiting patiently.
You all settle into bed for the night and may benefit from a long rest. George, something curious happens to you as you're sleeping. You have a very vivid dream of being in a beautiful forest. It is fall and the trees are beautiful shades of yellow, amber, and browns. The forest floor is covered in leaves, and you hear the chittering of animals preparing themselves for hibernation. You slowly start walking through this forest and feel the cool air of fall breathe against your cheeks as the clang of your plate armor is the only thing that is out of place in this serene place. As you walk through this first, you spot an elf clad in leathers matching the season. They wield a bow lined in gold with emeralds encrusted along wood. They have a light blue cape draped around them and a quiver on their back. They make eye contact with you and give you a smile. You know in your heart this is Coralon Larethian, the ruler of all elves and your patron god.
I give them a smile as I approach them and take a knee, holding my arm over my chest in a salute before saying, "Great Corellon, it is an honor to see you. I know not of why you have chosen to be in my presence, but I am humbled you have chosen me. How can I be in service to you?"
Corellon smiles and says, "Please rise, George. I've been watching you for some time and want to applaud you for remaining true to your word and fighting for the good of the realm. You are a testament to what our brave people should be. I am proud to call you my follower. Though it is not praise as to why I have come to you this day, George. I have come to test you and your resolve, to push your faith to its limits. Succeed, and you shall become my champion."
And I would stand up and say, "It would be an honor to serve you. Please tell me what I need to do."
A ring appears on your finger, George. And Corellon says, "Keep this ring on your finger. In your travels, you will be tempted with evil, things that do not align with what it means to be my follower. While you have avoided some temptations, this ring will try to corrupt you. You must fight these urges to prove yourself to be my champion. Do not remove this ring and remain steadfast, and you will become my champion."
I will honor your request, Corellon. I will not fail you.
The last thing you see is Corellon smiling at you as your dream fades away. Your eyes open from your trance in your room and all seems to be normal. Your armor stacked exactly where you put it before going to rest, but now there is a gold ring on your finger. It is tight and slightly uncomfortable. You all wake up after a long-deserved rest. The tavern creaks with slow-moving morning traffic downstairs as you all get yourselves ready for your journey to Wave Echo Cave. What would you all be doing this morning to get ready?
I would already be downstairs and have eaten some breakfast, already suited up in my plate armor and ready to begin our journey. I would be spinning the new gold ring on my finger, thinking about the implications of it.
I'm going to keep checking on my dragon baby and see how they're doing.
It's the same as before. While it's near hatching, it still may take a few days, possibly weeks to finish. Though that doesn't stop you looking over it curiously.
I'll go downstairs and get me some oatmeal and a black coffee.
You black coffee. I go downstairs, get me another bucket of corn, and dig in. I order a coffee too, but it's mostly cream and sugar. The coffee itself would be the lightest shade of brown. I would show it to Barack and say, "That's what coffee should be. Squaw!"
I'm going to walk down the hall and bang loudly on Rydoth's door and yell, "Hey, Redith, time to fulfill your end of the bargain. We got the short shit back, and now it's your turn to get off your ass and lead us to the cave."
Rydoth's door creaks open and he looks at you, squinting his eyes. "I done heard you all found a map to the place from Gundren. Oh, why do you all need me?"
Yeah, man, we paid for a service, if you remember correctly. You know, when we slew a fucking dragon, you can take us for a goddamn walk if we have a map or not. Better to have redundancy than to get lost in the woods. Not that I would ever get lost, mind you.
Redith gives you a stern look and then says, "Fine, I'll be down in 5 minutes," then closes the door.
I make my way downstairs, put out my arms and say, boys, today we get stupid bonkers rich. I got Redoth's ass up and we're going to Wave Echo Cave, kill a few monsters inside and claim all those magic items for ourselves. I look into the camera and say, and nothing can go wrong.
Oh man, you just had to be meta and screw us over like that, Don. Now Ben is going to make it his mission to do just that. That is not very squaw of you.
You all begin your journey by setting off east from Phandalin. Who would have the map at this point?
I do. I'm going to be holding out the map and looking at it from every angle possible, biting my tongue as I do, even though Redoth is leading us to the cave.
That he is. The terrain going east is hilly and speckled with trees and long grass. You spend most of the day moving up and down large hills. Redoth seems accustomed to the terrain. In fact, throughout the time you all have spent with him since Thunder Tree, he seems to be an excellent pathfinder. He always knows which way is north, predicting weather before it happens, and has an excellent feel for the entire area. About mid-afternoon, Redoth stops you all, holds up a hand and says, "Wait a moment, I think there is something up ahead." You all take a look and see there is a small war band. It consists of 4 hobgoblins and 2 wolves. They are all resting under a tree. One of them is acting as the lookout, but they haven't spotted you all yet.
That might be King Graal's warband. They might be protecting the way to Wave Echo Cave. We could try to sneak around them and avoid a fight, so we're still fresh for the cave. What should we do?
We need to give them the old sneak and stab, take them out while we have the upper hand.
That's not very honorable. We should at least tell them to leave and give them a chance to not be hostile. Assert dominance and cut them loose. I would rather scare them than hurt them.
George, the ring on your finger begins to burn as a voice creeps into your mind. It would be so much easier just to end them here and now. Slit their throats when they least expect it. They would just go off and raid someone's home. It's best to just end them here and now. It would be a service to the realm. George, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh man, that's a 14.
The voice in your head tempts you. You feel yourself going to grab Talon and charge in to slay the beasts, but you overcome the urge. You center yourself and know that this is nothing but a test. You don't know how you feel this, but you get the sense the ring is angry with you. The burning feeling dissipates, but the ring continues to feel uncomfortable on your finger.
I shake my head and say, we need to try diplomacy. What if they're like Droop? We at least need to give them a chance.
All right, but you're going in first.
I take a deep breath and I step out into the open, my hand on the hilt of Talon as I approach the group of hobgoblins as the rest of the party follows up behind me. I want to use my channeled divinity to use Emissary of Peace to give myself a +5 bonus to my persuasion checks to say, greetings friends, my name is Paladin George of the Lord's Alliance and I plea to you to lay down your arms. We are not looking for trouble, but we will be working in the area. We ask that you leave in peace. With my bonus, I roll a 22 for persuasion.
The hobgoblin, who looks like the leader since they are the biggest and strongest, stands up as his 2 wolves bark and snarl at you, but stay by their master. The hobgoblin says, "You lot must have been the ones who finished off Graal. He sent out one of me mates here to bring us back to the castle with your descriptions when you all caused a ruckus. A lot good that did him."
I'm going to prepare to cast a scorching ray. I don't like where this is going.
The hobgoblin puts up his hands and goes, "Easy now, if we wanted trouble we wouldn't be talking, right? Me name's Targor Bloodsword. After we found Graal dead, we decided to try and find this cave he's been sneaking around about. Maybe get some loot from inside, sell it to someone and go on the straight and narrow. Get out of this raiding business. We mean you no harm."
I don't trust these guys. I want to roll an insight check on them. I rolled a 21.
With a 21, you feel that these guys are genuine in their efforts. They are looking defensive instead of hostile. The wolves bark at you, but aren't having to be held back. The hobgoblins who serve under Targor don't look bloodthirsty. They look scared.
Oh man, these guys just want to find their place. I'm glad we didn't jump them.
Friends, we are going to that cave and have our own intentions. We don't want to be followed and don't want to contest it with you. If what you say is true, and you all wish to live a normal life and give up your evil past, I will see to it personally that the Lord's Alliance gives you all amnesty within Phandalin, and that you all will have the opportunity to have a normal life. For this, I swear.
The hobgoblins turn and talk to each other in hushed tones. After a few moments, Targor sticks his sword into the ground and walks up to you, George, and he puts out a hand to shake. "We agree to this, George. Thank you. We will set up camp outside of Phandalin and await your return."